There are multiple updates to the claims that Asia Argento paid off her own sexual assault accuser. Argento says she never had any sexual relationship with an underage male in a statement that she released. But then TMZ released a set of text messages they say are between Argento and a friend. And in those text messages, as you'll see, she writes, "I had sex with him. It felt weird. I didn't know he was a minor." Let's take a look back at her statement. Before that, part of her statement says, "I am deeply shocked and hurt by having read news that is absolutely false. I have never had any sexual relationship with Bennett." So 2 messages from her, at least we're told, that completely contradict each other just within days or hours, because those text messages are recent as well.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Oh my gosh, it's I mean, honestly, when it first came out that she completely, denied all the allegations, I was like, okay, like maybe there's something to this. This is a pretty strong opposition, to what the kid is saying. But then she also kind of threw Anthony Bourdain under the bus, and I was like, wait a minute, that's a shady move.
Well, let's take a look at
This guy isn't here to speak for himself. That's shady.
Yeah.
And then it comes out that
that was the most telling and most messed up part of that as well. I saw that and I was like, that's not great.
So when this all first came out, I immediately okay, this happened. She definitely did something bad. But it's looking more and more, the text messages were the latest thing to come out, that there's more to it than just what meets the eye.
So right, in the statement, she implied that the child actor at the time, Jimmy Bennett, tried to extort her amidst the Harvey Weinstein situation. And she mentioned her boyfriend at the time, Anthony Bourdain, multiple times in the statement, and saying that he encouraged her to deal with Bennett compassionately and help him out with his financial issues just so this would go away.
Right.
A lot of people, not just you, a lot of people had issues with bringing Bourdain
she kept referring to Anthony Bourdain and saying he also thought that this was a terrible extortion plot. And I'm like, why are you consistently using this person who everyone remembers as a very good person
and I think that's why, because she knew that this is a very beloved person, and putting him into it, maybe people would believe her more. But I think it's so terrible when you bring somebody into something like this that isn't there to speak for themselves or tell their side of it, which I'm sure, being the guy that he is, this would not have happened like this. So she's extremely shady.
So what do these text messages tell us at this point?
At this point, we can take a look back at the text messages and we can pull them back up. But the text messages show her having a conversation, according to TMZ, with a friend where she is admitting to having sex with Bennett. You can see the text messages there. So she says that he jumped her, but it wasn't rape. And then they talk about the New York Times article, which shows you that these text messages are incredibly recent.
Yeah.
Just as recent as the statement. And she says that he used to send her nude pictures.
Yeah, nude photos.
So almost implying that he was obsessed, that it happened, but he was obsessed with her. And he did try to extort her, which is similar to her statement, except for the main part.
Yeah,
which
and you would write her notes and stuff like that.
It didn't happen.
Yeah. Isn't there a very strange element to this though, where the way that Asia decided to deny these allegations immediately up front are almost identical to the way that abusive people normally do, almost identical to the way that Harvey Weinstein first denied it. And then there's a constant shifting of the goalposts throughout the conversation. At first it was, did they even have sex at all? And her response immediately was no. And then it was oh well, we did, but he jumped me. Oh well, we did, he jumped me, and now he's extorting me. Oh well, he jumped me, he's extorting me, and my dead boyfriend was also on board with everything I did and knew everything. And that's a really, none of this should take away from the goals of the Me Too movement, which I always say are overall good. Because a lot of people are trying to use this.
Equate the two as if,
there are a lot of people are trying to say well, if she lied, then that means people lie and we should just throw this whole thing away. And that's ridiculous.
I would argue that this is proof that the Me Too movement is working.
Yeah, I agree.
Assuming that this whole situation is this kid was taken advantage of completely. But I don't know, it might be a little too early for us to tell.
Here's the one thing I will say that I assume people will get very upset at me in the comment section, because there's an element to Pop Trigger where we love learning about the lives of celebrities, but this is just another testament to the fact that most people in Hollywood are broken-brained, dead-eyed liars, and they lie for a living, and they're Most of them are terrible people. Some are good, but most people are terrible in Hollywood.
Do you guys think that there's any truth to the kid side or what Asia said he did? Like, do you think that he was trying to extort her for money? If you read the article, it really shows how he was making like $2.7 million between some year and some year. And then after, the year that this happened, he was making 60 grand a year. So he had a big dip in
I
pay.
read some stuff that like his parents are just not good parents overall. And like they took a lot of his money too. So like part of Asia's story, like, okay, this could actually make sense to me that like he did try to pull this, or at behest of his parents try to do something like that.
But also, does it matter if you had sex with a child and then that child tried to get money out of you? Does it matter what the
Look? I don't think it matters. To me, it's just interesting to see there's
it doesn't
some truth
from our
to her side
like Western
and
American point of view, but like in the text, like I also read that like look, like in the age of consent in Europe where she is from is 15 in most places.
Yeah.
I think in Italy it actually might be 14.
In Canada it's 16.
So
like,
from that, I know, but from that perspective of someone who's grown up in Europe her whole life, she's like never really lived here. Having sex with a 17-year-old, she was saying like when I was 17, I was with a 35-year-old man or something. So like I can kind of get her perspective. Like this kid came, he's 17 years old, and he jumps her like that.
Which, by the way, is still kind of creepy. Just putting that out there.
For
like
sure,
when you're 15 years old or when you're 16 years old and you're dating a 35-year-old person, that person is
it's 100%
exploitative and
but
kind
you
of
have to consider the cultural differences, right?
Also, can I point? Someone in our comment section said they brought this up when we talked about this when these allegations first came out, and I can't remember his name, but he said that when he was 17, he was in a relationship with someone who was 37, and when now at 26, he realizes what a mistake that was, and at 17, he thought it was great and it was healthy and it was consensual and it was the right thing to do, and just. What, 8 years later? Now I'm counting wrong. 9 years later?
Jerry Seinfeld dated a 17-year-old in public at the height of Seinfeld. Like,
I mean, when you're
Dean
that age,
Cook is dating an 18-year-old, and they
that's
have like
different.
a 27-year-old difference.
Okay, in the end of the day, that's still legal. It's creepy, but that's still legal. Jerry Seinfeld, illegal.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like at that age, your brain isn't even fully developed to like even understand what you're doing and what's going on. So I'm glad that the truth is coming out on her though, because this is obviously something so terrible that you should never lie about like this.
Yeah, that's what I want to focus on. One of these is a lie.
Yeah.
If she made both of these statements, one of these is a lie, and that's a problem.
Yep.
Going back to like what
both
Hasan
people
was
might
saying.
be lying. Like both people might be okay. In between those two statements, of course, one of them is a lie. But
it's not surprising to me. This is like classic PR, right? Like you don't know how much the other party knows. You don't know how much everyone knows. So you start by like giving just a little bit, and then like you change the goalposts, like you were saying, as it becomes more and more clear, like what information everyone has.
yeah.
Never miss another Pop Trigger video. It is as easy as ringing the bell below so you get notified every time we upload a new one. And what you should do is join TYT, become a member. Download our TYT Plus app and go to tyt.com/join right now.